This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Canine Crew, it's time to just sell the damn thing. Doberman Dan is revealing his contrarian formula for getting a rush of new customers, building your business faster, and making the highest possible profits. Go to justsellthedamnthing.com to get your copy today.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
You know what they would call this, Dan? I think the cool way to call what we're doing today is a native advertisement.
Ah, that sounds cooler than saying we're doing a podcast.
Well, you know, it's a native advertisement because we're going to pretend that we're doing a podcast, but what we're really going to be doing is just selling the damn thing.
Ah, I see. In other words, so we're doing what an intelligent media owner would do, and they use their own media to sell their own stuff, right?
Yeah, you know, and that's an interesting thing, and especially since Nate brought it up on the last episode, I've been thinking about it so much, and it's coming up so often, that idea of controlling the media, and I think that's what people don't get. Like, this is yours. This channel is yours. The subscribers are yours. The listeners are yours, and you got to use it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's like I see these people, they've got a huge listenership on their podcast and they sell sponsorships. I just spoke with one and I forget what he quoted me, $7,500 for a sponsorship on his podcast. And so I don't know, people get pigeonholed into that mindset that that's how they monetize a podcast. Well, I guess so. When you got 500,000 targeted listeners, like this guy claimed damn near 500,000 entrepreneurs were his listeners, and I guess you can get $7,500 for a podcast sponsorship then. But if you don't have that kind of listenership, I mean, what else should you be doing with your podcast? Well, duh. I mean, the entire reason Muscle and Fitness was started was because Joe Weider had a company that sold barbells and dumbbells and exercise equipment and supplements. And he just started a magazine as a way to sell his stuff. And he just monetized the magazine by putting content in there and making it appear to be editorial. But the real purpose was to sell his stuff. Then he figured out he could pick up a few extra bucks by selling ad space to other people, selling stuff to his audience. It wasn't, you know, that he wanted to start a bodybuilding magazine. He wanted a form of media that he could control to sell his stuff. Duh.
Shocking insights here on Off the Chain today. So, Dan, let's talk a little bit about the book launch, because, all right, so this podcast is one of your media channels. Your newsletter is another media channel. So why did you need to write the Just Sell the Damn Thing book?
Well, in spite of the fact of publishing God knows how many hundreds of blog posts, which really, knowing what I know now, I would like to have all that time back if that were possible, but it ain't possible. So they're out there. And in publishing, coming up on 8 years worth of a monthly newsletter, having never missed an issue in 8 years.
Nice.
And God knows how many thousands of emails. Nothing beats a book for a lot of reasons, for credibility, for setting yourself up as an expert, celebrity, for driving people into your world, for driving people to a website, for driving people into insert your thing in the blank, you know, your membership program, your mastermind, your client feeder system, whatever. Nothing beats a book. So it's long past due.
Now, the thing is, I'm a knight in your marketing Camelot. So we were hearing about this book a year ago, I think, inside the newsletter. So how long did it actually take you?
Well, it wouldn't have taken that long if I just would have worked on the damn thing consistently.
Just write the damn thing.
So, especially because, you know,
Nice.
A lot of the content was repurposed from newsletter issues, just, you know, massaged a bit and reworked and put in different order. So, I mean, at least 75% of it is repurposed content. Still, it seemed like it took a really long time just because, the main thing was what I've learned is if I want to get something done, it actually has to be scheduled on the calendar consistently. There's actually time dedicated to it. Even if it's only 33 minutes a day, it's on there. It's either on the to-do list and or actually on the calendar between certain hours. So anything that's just in the works, so to speak, that doesn't get scheduled, just gets picked at here and there and never gets completed. And that was the case with this book until finally I just got fed up and just decided, I'm going to finish the damn thing. I'm going to finish the damn thing called Just Sell the Damn Thing. Damn it.
Yeah, I think you got your new
dams in there.
You have your new battle cry like Dan Kennedy has the no BS. Yours is going to be the damn thing. Everything's the damn thing.
Right, exactly. Probably a few years ago, that would have been shocking. I would have gotten hate mail. Not so much now, I don't think.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away the book. I did pick up a copy. I got inspired by it. If I can just give you a testimonial, I read the book and I'm like, shit, why am I not selling this new thing I'm working on? And I just started selling something that wasn't even supposed to be sold because you got me so inspired. So thank you.
I saw that recently. I saw that you were selling a sales letter.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I did, and I it sounds stupid, I think, but I did convert it. I made it look like a newsletter. At least I put a table of contents and a cover on it.
Well, my point is, so when I launched this thing on Amazon, the price was initially just 99 cents for the Kindle version, just to get a big initial rush of orders. But my point of this whole thing, the whole just sell the damn thing philosophy is, I don't care if somebody even pays something as little as a penny. That list of people, of just somebody bought something from you for a penny, is infinitely more valuable than a list of opt-ins. Because, now we've arrived at the point online where free is just ubiquitous. And free has been done so much that it's just free overload, and nobody places any value on it. And I cite all the studies and the psychology for it in the book. But eventually, when there's a proliferation of anything, it arrives at its true perceived value and its true value, which is nut and honey, which is like the Keynesians either didn't understand that or they do understand that and are just insanely evil to keep that thing going, because it's the same thing with the US dollar. When you just have so much of it, eventually the public is going to find out that it's worth nothing and then will refuse to accept it. And that's where we're at in many niches and markets online. We are with this freebie thing where I'm going to give you away a bunch of free content, and I'm going to offer this free stuff as a bribe to get you in my opt-in list. And then I'm going to put you in this launch sequence where you're going to get, 47 weeks of free content so I can build a relationship. I'm doing finger quotes there, by the way. Build a relationship with people who've not crossed my palm with even the tiniest sliver of silver, and invest God knows how many hours, months, years of my life to invest my time in building a relationship with a list that's 99% freeloaders. It's just that model ain't working anymore. And all the really smart marketers I know have abandoned it for that reason. So my point being that even if you just charged a penny for that report, that alone would build you a much higher value list than offering it as a freebie in exchange for an opt-in.
It's interesting what you said there, and I wish that I was smart enough to put the pieces together. But the way you talked about quantitative easing, which was what the Fed was doing when they were printing money, and how our money became devalued, and how it's similar to what's going on online, that everything free just has no value anymore. People don't care anymore, and you can't cut through the noise like you used to. We gotta come up with a terminology for that, like quantitative easing. We have to think about that, or maybe one of the nerds
something
listening.
cool like that.
Man, so how did the book launch go? I mean, I know that you quit doing daily emails because it was to your freebie list, but I saw that you ramped it up for the book launch, and I'm wondering how that all went.
Yeah, it went really well. So the first day I announced it, it became a bestseller in the direct marketing category. And a few days later, I hit number 5 in the entrepreneurship category, which is a way tougher one because that's a much broader category than direct marketing. So since I launched, I don't know, it's been close to a couple weeks ago or somewhat close. I'm still number 1 in direct marketing. It has the little bestseller graphic there when you search for it on Amazon. And I think I'm still number 5 or 6 in the entrepreneurship category, competing against some big names like James Altucher for one, and Seth Godin in that category. So I think it went really well. And that's just from promoting it to my list, which I think a lot of marketers would laugh at the size of my list because it's not the hundreds of thousands that those guys brag about. But they're bragging about opt-in lists. And as I prove in the book, your opt-in list is now pretty much, almost next to worthless. And you really shouldn't be focusing on that anymore. You should be focusing on building your buyers list. And I have to go back and look at the numbers, but it's hard to do it when I'm driving to Amazon. But I believe most of my sales came from my buyers list, which is a tiny, tiny little list. And my opt-in list is, I don't know, 30 times, 40 times bigger than that. And still, so, I just proved my own point. Exponentially more valuable list, my buyers list, than the opt-in list, which was built by offering a free thing in exchange for an email, which I will soon be doing away with on my DobermanDan.com site.
Uh-oh. That means we'll have something new for our call to action on the shows here. So, Dan, the whole promo, then you got to bestseller and you did not buy an ad. You did not do joint ventures. This is another Stone Age type thing. You just did emails?
Yes, it was just strictly promoted by email. And by the way, this one, an international bestseller, because it hit bestseller in Canada. And Sir Travis of Cody, who helped me a lot with this book, he helped me put it together physically, the Kindle book and the print book. And he knows about book promotion. I think he said we might have reached number 1 in direct marketing in the Amazon site, Australia, New Zealand. I haven't verified that yet, but definitely in Canada. So now it's a international bestseller. And by the way, my 3rd bestseller, 3-time best-selling author. But if I were to be totally transparent, I would also tell you that it's the first book I'm actually somewhat pleased with. Wasn't happy at all in books 1 and 2.
Why not?
And those were cranked out really fast for some very specific reasons corresponding to events and deadlines. And I just didn't like them. This one, I can say I like. I don't know if I can say I'm proud of because I have really bad perfectionist tendencies and I'm not happy with anything I do in any field, business, music, otherwise. That's why, I never finish anything. I just release it. So, but I can say that I am pleased with this one.
And I don't know if I saw this correctly, but I left you a good review on Amazon. But did you really already get a bad review?
Yeah. And I'm surprised it took so long, actually. So I got a 2-star review. And I think the thing that bothered me most about it is because there was truth to what he said. He couldn't argue that there wasn't good content in there, but he said he didn't like the humor and some of the language. Like, I write for myself, to be honest with you. And I like to write stuff that amuses me. And he wasn't amused by it. And I could blow it off and say, oh, what a dick. He just doesn't get it. He's not part of my crowd. But no, there's some truth to it. I mean, the way I write is going to repel certain people. And my past experience tells me that these are people that will never do business with me anyway, because the ultimate goal of this book is it's a self-promotion tool. I mean, why else would anybody write a book? You write a book to just sell the damn thing, and you don't make any money off the book. You make money off of what happens after people read the book. So there's all kinds of CTAs in there for my marketing Camelot. So that's to drive to my membership. And then what happens out of that, sometimes directly from a book like this, but oftentimes once somebody gets involved in my marketing Camelot, is I get presented opportunities for business deals, whatever those deals may happen to be. Either something as simple as writing copy for a client or, even equity deals in a business. So my experience tells me somebody who's turned off by the style of writing in that book is probably not a prospect for my particular thing.
And I guess that's part of the gig, right? Because what I like about it is I feel like I'm sitting in the room with you. The way, just like us recording the show or just like being at your mastermind, I feel like you're sitting right there talking with me. And that's what I like about it, because it's easier. I find it easier to read when it's like that.
Well, I mean, that was the goal. That was the goal of the book. The negative review was like, I really can't believe this guy talks like that and says stuff like your batty brain and your nutty noggin. Well, I do. I mean, ask anybody who knows me. Ask anybody who's been listening to this podcast. I do talk like that. So, I guess I could write in a way that would, just be, Sergeant Joe Friday, just the facts, man. And maybe that will be more appealing in a Broadway. But you know what I found? That when you just plant your flag and you decide on what your persona is and you figure out your voice, I really feel like it took 3 years, almost 4 years of writing my newsletter before I totally nailed the Doberman Dan voice, even though I had been writing as Doberman Dan online for a long time before that. It took the discipline of the monthly newsletter to really nail it. It's like a knife cutting through the masses. It separates people. It will turn off certain people. And if you've meticulously engineered it to turn off certain people who are not likely your prospects, then, goal accomplished. And it will appeal to certain people. So, when I get feedback that the book was one of the most valuable business books they've ever read from some really big players in online marketing and direct response marketing, Dan Kennedy, for one, who wrote the foreword, Ken McCarthy, another who's an online marketing pioneer. When I get people like that telling me that the book was highly valuable to them, and guys running 8-figure and 9-figure a year businesses, well, then obviously my style of writing and my persona appeals to exactly the people I want to appeal to. And the negative review, which came from someone who admittedly, not in his words, but you could tell is a wannabe. He's never done anything. And even for all intents and purposes admitted that. He's never been able to get anything going online. When most people tell me that means like they half-assed tried something. And when they encountered the least little anthill-sized, barrier, they rolled over, pissed on themselves, and laid in a fetal position, sucking the thumb, talking about how hard it is. So, if the writing style pisses those people off, mission accomplished. Now, the true person I am, I really don't want to piss off people and offend people. But when you put yourself out there, you've got to define these things. You've got to stand for something and stand against something. And your public persona is different than your private persona. And that's what my public persona, my Doberman Dan persona does. So I expect more negative reviews. And that's just, proof to me that what I'm doing is working.
Now you are talking, brother. So the site should be up. What is the site where people can get your book? I know it's available on Amazon.
It's available on Amazon. Just search for Just Sell a Damn Thing. It's the only product that will come up under that search. If you just search Just Sell, it'll come up as number 1. And I think Just Sell 'Em for Parts by Bill Engvall will come up as number 2, which sounds like a funny book, by the way. So it's on Amazon. I think $9.99 for the Kindle book, $19.95 for the hard copy book. And I'm also going to be selling it myself. from justsellthedamnthing.com. My initial tests to show I put my money where my mouth is when I preach about even a list of people who paid a penny for something is infinitely worth much more than a freebie seeker's opt-in list. I'm initially going to be selling this for a penny.
You are.
Plus, plus the shipping and handling charge. And then, of course, any good direct response marketer, online marketer listening to this will know, of course, there are going to be a couple upsells because really, I mean, what kind of marketer would I be to not offer you a chance to further our beautiful budding business relationship if I didn't offer upsells? So that will be available at justsellthedamnthing.com. And who knows, by the time you check it out there, who knows, the price may have gone up or I might be doing some price testing.
It might have tripled. It'd be 3 cents then.
That's right. 3 whole cents.
Good stuff. All right. Justsellthedamnthing.com. And if you don't find it there, go to Amazon, look up either Doberman Dan or Just Sell the Damn Thing. Pick up a copy. I left a review for you, Dan, encouraging people to buy the book right now and stop messing around online. And so I hope you heed my advice. That's it for this one. We'll be back in your earbuds next time. K9 crew, before you run off, I want to remind you, Doberman Dan has set up an off-the-chain hotline. Call in, tell us you love us. It's even better if you tell us you hate us. It doesn't matter what you say. All you have to do is call in, leave a message. The number is 321-424-6043. Again, off-the-chain hotline, 321-424-6043.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.